Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the 6th elementary grade. Our textbook is Weekend 3 and today inshallah we're going to cover Unit 6 that is called Jobs, and we're going to evaluate and summarize the whole unit. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazen Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Fawaz Al-Agil. So let's begin. Our first lesson we did learn in that unit was called Finding Out Time on pages 42 and 43. And our objectives in this lesson were to do an interview about jobs with a partner and also to say my dad's or my father's job. So these were the two objectives that we did learn in the first lesson. So, what we did learn in that lesson is how to answer two important questions. The first one was, what does your dad do? What does your dad or your father do? And the second was, what does your mom do? What does your mom or your mother do? So in this, how we did learn this? By playing an interview. And we said that imagine that you having another partner who you would like to make an interview with, maybe a classmate, maybe even a family member. And try to interview him by asking him these two questions. What does your father do and what does your mother do? And then you can switch and he can be the interviewer, he can interview, and then you can answer questions. The same two questions. This is how we practice these two important questions. Not only this, but we also got to know a number of different jobs in this lesson. Jobs like astronaut, reporter, architect, pilot, nurse, and also engineer, cook, diver, teacher, computer technician, firefighter, businessman, housewife, lawyer, and doctor. So we did learn the name of these 15 jobs, and we did even practice on the name of each job and what exactly each one of these people who are doing this job exactly do. And after this, on pages 44 and 45, we had a lesson that is called Grammar in Action. And in this lesson, we did learn two things. The first thing is that we chanted the space station crew chant, and also we were able to say two jobs and what exactly they do. So not only to talk about jobs, but even to chant about job. Let's now remind ourselves of the chant and practice it also together. So the first chant we had in this unit was called the Space Station Crew, where we got to play a chant, and that chant was about questions and answers. So it's not like any regular chant. In this chant we did answer questions. And by answering these questions, this is how we learn this chant. So let's listen to this chant. We have three parts, chant made of three parts. Let's listen to the first part. So the first part of our chant here, who is he? He is Abdullah. What does he do? He's the pilot. Where does he work? In a station. In the train station? No, in the space station. So this is the first part of our chant where we got to know Mr. Abdullah, who works as a pilot, in the space station. So now we know the name of this person, we know what does he do, and also we know where is he working. Now let's listen to the second part. The second part, we're going to talk, or we're going to know a little bit about this man. Let's listen and chant together. Who is he? He's Faisal. And what does he do? He's a doctor. Where does he work? In a hospital. In the city station? No, in the space hospital. So also this is the second part of the chant here. This person, his name is Faisal. He works as a doctor, and also he works in a hospital, but not any regular hospital. He works in the space hospital. So we learned three things from this part. Now let's go ahead and listen to the final part of this chant. So the final part of this chant, we're going to be about this man. Let's get to know his name and what exactly he is doing. So, who are they? They are Ali and Umar. And what do they do? They are the cooks. And where do they work? In a restaurant. In the fast food restaurant? No, in the space restaurant. So on your books, you can see that we have two men working as the cooks, and their name are Ali and Umar, and they are working in a restaurant, but not any kind of restaurant. They are working in the space restaurant. So this is what our chant in this lesson was all about. So this is a quick review on our chant, where we got to meet or to know Abdullah the pilot, Faisal the doctor, and Ali and Umar the cooks. Now, and not only this, but also we did answer the main question, which is, what do they do? Where in this lesson we listen to their job or the description of different people about what they do, and then we match the pictures with the places where do they work. And the answers were that the first one, he's a doctor who works in a hospital, and they are the firefighters who works in a fire station, and also he is a pilot who works in an airport. So this is what the answers were about this question. And then also we did listen again, and we number the correct order. We number these sentences in the correct order based on what we heard. So the answers were that the first thing we heard, that doctor, he helps sick people, and also firefighters, they put out fires, and they pilots, they fly planes. So we did answer this by listening to the description and to the people and what are they doing. Also, in rhythms and sound on pages 46 and 47, we did listen to other chant, and what our objectives were in that lesson was to talk about what I am, or he or she, or we, you, or they are doing or not doing, and also ask and answer yes/no questions about what people are doing. So in this unit, we did listen to this chant about jobs, and it will goes like this. So let's try to listen to it first and try to remind ourselves of this chant. So the first part of the jobs chant were like this. When I grew up, I want to be a designer. When I grew up, I want to be a baker. When I grew up, I want to be a reporter. And the second part, when I grew up, I want to be a scientist. When I grew up, I want to be a writer. When I grew up, I want to be a doctor. When I grew up, I want to be a presenter. When I grew up, I want to be a teacher. So also one more thing we learn about this chant is that when you do chant this one, It's not enough only to chant it, but also to do. And what do you mean by to do is that when you think of any job, and when you say any, or when you talk about any job, try to act it out. Like for example, when you say, when I grow up, I want to be a presenter. So when you chant this song, you can make gestures like this. I want to be a presenter. Or when you talk about the other one, when I grow up, I want to be a teacher. Then you can make a sign like or gesture like this. I want to be a teacher, like you are a teacher who are explaining something to his student. So this was the interesting part about this chant. It's not only about chanting, but also about acting and doing. After this, also, we play a game that is called job guessing game, where in this game we listened to an interview. We listened to an interview, and then we circled the answers, and we guessed what Said wants to be. So here we are interviewing Said in this exercise, and we ask him questions. And out of these questions, he chose these answers. For example, when the interviewer asked him, where do you want to work? He says, in my country. Also, when we ask him, what do you want to do? He says, I want to travel and meet people. And also when we say, do you want to learn many languages? He says, yes. Also, following with these questions, are you planning to study? Said says, yes. Do you like to travel? Said says, yes. And do you like to help people? Said says, yes. So how this game goes is that after finishing all the questions, after the interviewer, this man, finishes all the questions that he has for Said, then it is Said's job, it's the interviewer job to try to guess out of all of these answers what exactly Said wants to be when he grow up. And so we made a guess, myself, I made a guess. I said that he maybe wants to be an astronaut. He maybe wants to be an astronaut. And then I encourage you to do the same as what the interviewer did. When you go, choose any partner, like maybe a family member or a classmate or even a friend of yours, and ask him the same questions as we have here. And then you can have, or you can ask him even further questions, just for you to make it easier for you to guess and trying to think what exactly the job that he had in mind. So we did play this game and we had our guess, which is that he wants to be an astronaut. After this, the last part of our lesson was about phonics on pages 48 and 49. And our objectives were that you should be able to spell and write words with KN like knife and GH like night and verbs ending in S or ES, and also to count up to 1000. So what we did learn that in some of the words in this unit, some of the words that may have these two letters, KN and GH, but they are or they will be silent in these words. We don't have to be, or we're not, it's not necessarily to say these words. Like for example, and we did read some examples, like the first one, right. So here we did wrote G and H, but without pronouncing them. Like here, for example, the word knob, where we pronounce N without K, and the word will be knob. The third one, or the third example, knee. Here we put K, N, and double E. So we only pronounce N and double E. The K is silent here. And here as well, knock. Here the K is silent. And we only pronounce, it will be pronounced as knock. Light, knife, night. So these were the examples of some of the words that has these two letters, K, N, and GH. And we did learn, we did practice often that we may find some words that has these two letters and we keeping them silent. Yes, we write them down, but we keeping them silent as these examples. Not only this, but we did also learn that some of the words that ends with S may have three different sounds. So words like this one, reads, may the end of this word has the sound of Z, like reads, reads. And the second sound that we have, which is walks, that ends with sa, walks, walks. And the last one, which is teaches, that ends with the sound is. So we did learn that we do have three possible sounds that comes at the end of each of the words that ends with the letter S. And also we did match a couple of words with this sound. We did some matching and we gave examples on what are the words that have the similar sound of za, like for example reads, plays, and also the words that ends or have the sa sound, like walks, eats, and also the words that ends with is sound, like teaches, catches, and so on. And finally, the last thing we did in that unit was to listen to and point to the numbers and then chant. We had this chant, an interesting chant about numbers, and we were able to count up to 1,000. Let's hear this chant one more time. The first part of our chant was 1,000 stars. I like to count the stars at night. 10 at a time, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So we did listen to the first part, and not only this, but even after we did listen, we did point each word with its number. For example, this is 30. We did point that 30 matches this number, and 100 matches this number. Not only this, but even we continue counting. In the second part of this chant, let's hear it. Let's count together. 100 at a time. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and 1,000 stars at night. So here we did listen to the numbers, and we did match them with the number. So this was all about the Unit 6 jobs. I hope that you did learn well from it, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.